Hello, Vol Nation. Welcome to another episode of Believe in Tennessee Football. I am your host, as always, Kyler Kerberson, joined with Reed Bacon. We got a great one today. We're going over the top 5 things about game day. What is it that makes Saturdays in the fall so important to so many of us? The reminiscing, the feelings that we have really makes this podcast a good one. We do have a little fun in the beginning, going off some tangents, talking about movies and stuff, which I don't know why, but we're having a good time. So I hope you guys enjoy the episode, and let's jump into it.
By the game. Snap. The kick is in the air, and the kick this time is no, sir-ree. No, sir-ree. Final score. Tennessee 20, Florida 17. Pandemonium reigns.
Loads up, fires long for the end zone. The pass is going to be caught by Tennessee. Tennessee wins! Caught by Tennessee, Jawan Jennings. Jennings makes the catch in the end zone on the Hail Mary.
Down at the 35, to the 40, to the 45, to the 50, to the 45, to the 40, to the 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. What did he do? All he did was score. Joey Pence, touchdown on play number 1.
So before we get into the show, gotta shout out our number one sponsor at Bet Online. You know, baseball is coming up. You also have the NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs, and there's just a ton of stuff to bet on. So for all of your news, your stats, all the odds that you would want, Bet Online has that. So go on, head over there, and get in on that action. It's fun to bet on these games. It gets a little more interesting that way. So visit the website or use your mobile device to sign up and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. So before the next tip-off, face-off, or pitch, head on over to BetOnline and start playing today. BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts. All right, welcome on, everybody. I got another great episode tuned up for you. So like I said in the intro, we're going to be going over our top 5 things about game day, about the Saturdays, about everything we look forward to in the fall. I might have a little bit of different perspective than some of the fans out there, being a former player, but I think it's still going to be fun. Me and Reed back together. Now, before we jump into it, Reed, I know you wanted to talk about a little bit recruiting, some of the guys, big name guys that we're looking at and all that kind of stuff. So what do you got for us?
What's up, players? Y'all buy some drugs?
Is that going to be your intro?
Yeah.
I know you did that in another podcast.
What'd you say?
I said, I know you did that on another podcast. So I'm wondering if that's going to be like your intro moving forward.
I do it all the time. I do it to like my parents. I walk in. And then I say it at the office. I'll walk into the office. And the other one I love too is like someone's like, "What are you doing over there?" And I'm like, "Just over here trying to get me a scholarship."
What? Will you give some backstory so people understand where that's coming from?
Yeah, it's from Pineapple Express, the movie, which the funny thing is like I like that movie, but it's not one of my favorite movies by any stretch of imagination. Like it's funny, but it's not, I wouldn't even say it's top 3 or top 5 of my favorite movies. But just, I love Danny McBride. And so those quotes of those, it's just incredible.
Did you, I mean, I think that is like the category it's under, where it's not like, it's actually not a good movie, but the quotes are just so funny and the people in it are so funny. It's like,
right.
This Is the End, when it had like all those different guys in it. And it's just like Seth Rogen, Danny McBride,
yeah.
Jonah Hill,
the big
Sarah, Michael Cera,
yes,
they're all just hilarious and just like giving out one-liners over and over.
I honestly loved that movie until about midway through, and it got really weird and really dark.
Yeah,
and like the devil stuff, I was like, I'm out. Like I'm not doing this. But I would argue that the first like hour and a half of that is incredible. Like, this podcast just took a turn I did not think it was going to go. But one of my favorite quotes is when you haven't seen Danny McBride the entire movie, and they all wake up the next morning. He's just down there, and you don't really see who he is yet. You kind of have an idea, and he's down there just whipping up that breakfast, and they all show up, and they're like, "Oh my God, Danny! Like, what did you do?" Like, dude, and he's like, "Chill out, bro. Like, the Green Goblin can afford more bacon." I lost it. It was incredible.
The Green Goblin can afford more bacon.
Oh, because he just cooked up all the rest. He cooked up
all of their food supply.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But anyways, yeah. That's just I get in a bad habit of saying that. Anyways, I just wanted to hit on not a big recruiting stuff, but I know that the fans love that, and we are going to continue to get better, and we're going to have some more stuff coming on the recruiting stuff. But I just wanted to say, Dylan Sampson, I love this, and I love this for multiple reasons, and I think the fans should be legitimately excited about this. First off, yeah, he is only a 3-star, but what matters maybe almost more than anything in sports and definitely in football is speed. Speed kills. And the kid is an absolute burner. And at first I see this and I'm like, oh my gosh, he's an absolute burner. I'm like, hold on, let me check. How big is the kid? Is he some short, little, small, 160 pound? No, he's 5'11", 180. That's a good size. I mean, that's a good size, and he looks good too. Like, watching him, he doesn't look like a small 5'11", 180 or like those are BS stats, physical stats. Second off, I watch him, I'm like, all right, does he just go down the drop of the hat like when I used to hit you in practice, you'd fall?
Yeah, we could tell stories about you running into my freaking back in practice.
I know. We do need to tell that sometime. That's hilarious. But anyways, he had good balance. And I'm like, all right, good size, good speed, good balance. I'm like, this kid's like, I'm not sure why he's a 3-star. And I haven't delved into it enough why people would think that. And maybe like I could ask some people and see what they say. But like I said, seeing the speed with the balance, with the size. And the other thing is too, the kid's from Louisiana. And I love that because Louisiana football, in my mind, is probably, it's not as good as your Florida, Texas, Georgia, California. But I mean, Louisiana has some very good athletes, which is why LSU is usually really good. If you look up and down their roster, I'd say 60 to 70% of their kids from Louisiana.
Are you putting Louisiana kind of in the same realm as like Ohio?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, because Ohio is seen as like the northern state that produces a lot of talent. And, you know, one of the reasons why Ohio State is so good, there's just a lot of talent in that Ohio region. So.
Sorry, I'm just over here trying to get all my ice messed up. I am. And that's a good point. I just think they play a good brand of ball, and there's a lot of good athletes down there. So instead of seeing this kid from like Vermont, and you're like, well, of course he's going to tear up in friggin' Vermont or wherever. But like the fact that he's from somewhere in Louisiana, I love that. And then I looked at his list. He has, over 20 offers. And yes, there are some UCFs and Memphises and, some of these different Marshall, West Virginia, but there also is an Arkansas, and there also is a South Carolina, and there also is a Mississippi State. And Tennessee fans, well, I mean, us, I'm a fan, you're a fan, but like, those are the people we're competing with right now. We got to get to where we're consistently beating them before we worry about consistently beating, Florida and Georgia and definitely Alabama. So I love that we beat him for that. I love the fact that he committed on a visit. That meant it was very special to him, and it at least meant that the coaches did a darn good job showing this guy something special. Now, I will be very interested to see if we are able to keep him, especially if LSU comes calling. You know what I mean? And we'll see if he's a loyal kid. He's like, nah, UT's where I want to go. So I loved it for all those reasons. I mean, anybody that runs a 10.48 in the 100, I mean, sign him up. Sign him up. And the fact that he is a football player, not just some track star, is even better.
Yeah.
And then I think you did mention, you reminded me that I did mention this on last pod, but if I just want to bring it up again, I love the fact that Vincent Snead is all Vol. He's all over Twitter. He's all about it. And it's huge to see him get bumped from a 3 to 4 star in Rivals. That means the kid's working. That means he's progressing. That means that someone who does those rankings thinks that he is doing good at these camps. I'm excited to see who comes on offers wise and starts, and then see if he's stays a good commit. And maybe this coaching staff is getting in early on some of these guys. And, but anyways, that's just what I wanted to say. I think the Tennessee fans should be very, very excited about both of them, honestly. The one that we, for Snead progressing and Sampson for, committing like he did. So I'm fired up about that.
Yeah, I would agree. The thing you talked about the offers, it's funny, like, I had offers from Alabama, Georgia, Stanford, like big time schools, but I also had offers from UTC and Maryland and like, like just random schools that were like, well, maybe if we throw it out there, who knows? And I remember like getting those letters and thinking to myself, what? Like, why are you reaching out to me?
Wait, what's wrong with the mocks?
What are you talking about?
UTC, bro, go Mocs.
Yeah, go Mocs, baby. Nothing wrong. Hey, nothing wrong with UTC. Terrell Owens, alma mater. But I had some bigger fish to fry at that point. But yeah, I mean, it'll grow. It'll grow for him. I feel like this guy can't be ignored with how good he is, how fast he is.
Yeah.
Being in the South like he is, it's just a matter of time.
I just thought of a funny story. It was my senior prom, your junior prom, and I swear to you, I think you and they had like some ice cream or some sort of snacks, and I came over to you and I was like, bro, and I like got serious. I was like, come on now, like, just come to Memphis with me. And you just started I don't know if you remember this, but you just started dying laughing. You're like, shut up, Reed. Like, I'm not going to freaking Memphis. And I told you that when they called me on my recruiting call, which, I mean, they didn't have to really recruit me. Like, when they said, hey, we want you to come and do this and do that, I was like, I'm there. And they're like, we'll take some time to think about it. Come down for a visit. I was like, no, I'm coming. Like, don't worry about it. Like, they're like, whoa. Now, how good are you friends with this Kyler Kerberson? I said, well, actually, I'm really good friends with him. I said, we've been good friends for a couple of years now. I'm like, okay, really? Well, do you think that he maybe has some? I said, well, I mean, I can definitely talk with him. Like, it would be cool to get to play with him. And they're like, well, yeah. Let us know what he says about that. Obviously, the whole time I knew you're gonna be like, get the out of here, bro. And so that night after I jokingly said that to you, I was telling you that how Coach Cup what was his name? He was the director of ops, and he recruited me. And then before I even got on campus 2 months later, he was at Ole Miss. But anyways, it was hilarious. But yeah, all right. Let's start this bad boy.
I will say this, that kind of reminded me. It's just so funny that stuff kind of happened. You were saying we were getting ice cream at prom. It reminded me of something that I was thinking about with this list, that kind of an honorable mention, but something that I did every Friday night before the game. So I didn't put it on here because it's not game day technically, but every Friday night before the game in the hotel, I would absolutely crush a huge bowl of cookies and ice cream. I mean, massive. Every Friday night. I look forward to it all damn week.
Cookies and ice cream, you said?
Yes, man. Get the cookies in there, ice cream on top, drizzle with syrup, whipped cream, give me a cherry. I would mess that thing up every Friday night.
And they wouldn't care that you're eating that the day. I mean, you're a lineman. What's the matter?
There was a full Sunday bar.
Bar.
Yeah, it was a full bar. So, like, you could do it if you wanted to. And, hey, as long as I'm still playing up to my abilities, they're not going
Yeah.
to say anything.
Yeah, we had I was in Memphis and we were doing camp, and the director of ops came up to me and he was like, "Hey man, I just want to let you know, you're not on scholarship yet or right now, and during camp we do a dinner every Tuesday and Wednesday night for the scholarship players. Now you're more than welcome to eat it, but you just have to pay like a certain amount of money or whatever." Which now I don't even get why. Like if they like, I don't. It doesn't. No, oh well, it doesn't matter. Why? Why if it was already there? Why? Anyways, who cares? But he was like, "Hey,
probably violations or some crap like
I don't know." But he was like, "It's $214 for all." No, it was during season, not during camp. So throughout the season, every Tuesday and Wednesday, he said it's like $214. I said, and I was like, "No, I'm not going to do that." And I said, "No," I was like, "That's a pretty good deal. Like I'm going to come off practice. It's all you can eat. Like it's going to be pretty good food." That was the best, like $214 I've ever spent in my entire life. In my entire life. And I wrote that check off my own account with my own money that I had made lifeguarding. And bro, I would leave. I mean, so there's this place in Memphis called Garibaldi's, which is like a pizza place, but they had a catering side of the business. And I swear to you, everything they did, whether it was Italian, whether it was, just some sort of chicken or some sort of barbecue, I don't care what it was, it's incredible. And I never left there without making a big glass of Arnold Palmer. So I'd make the, half lemonade, half sweet tea. And I'd get a napkin and I would wrap up at least 7 cookies. at least 7 cookies. And I would take it back to my dorm.
Why 7? Why 7?
All right. I mean, 6 or 8 sometimes. I don't know. I just grabbed a handful. So no, this is the reason I went from when I weighed in at my first camp. When I ever weighed in my first camp, I was 178. No, I was like 180 and then dropped down. When I left Memphis, I was right at 200. I literally put on about 20 pounds in my first semester. And I was like, was all that good Garibaldi's eating I was doing?
Heck yeah.
Oh God.
You said 178, and I was like, I remember when I was in 8th grade. It must be nice.
Well, I played our senior year. I played my senior year probably like 205, 210, so not that big for a linebacker. But when I knew I was playing safety, I was like doing everything I could to cut weight and try to get faster. So, and then in camp, you can't keep weight on. It's insane.
Well, unless you're me.
Well, true, unless you're fatty.
Yeah, it's real easy when they give you subs as a snack at 10 p.m. after practice. Here's your bedtime snack, a foot-long meat level sub.
Hey, go ahead and shove this foot-long on in right before bedtime. That's the way we like it.
Yeah, exactly. You burned a lot of calories today. Make sure you fuel up. Okay. Give me my meatball marinara foot-long. Thanks, bud.
Oh, gosh. How'd you take that foot-long?
Good. I took it real good.
All right, you go first. You're the host of the show.
Okay.
You go first with your number 5 game day.
Yes. So top 5 things of game day. Because obviously we've gotten off track. So I want to remind everybody exactly what we're doing here. Let me set the scene here. Have you ever been to a chiropractor, Reed?
Yeah.
Okay. When you go to that chiropractor and obviously you've been feeling stiff, you don't feel very well, you go there, he gets those big knots out of you, he or she, doesn't matter, gets those huge knots out of you, pops that back, pops that neck, pops your shoulder, and you feel like you feel it cracks you like a damn glow stick, baby, and you feel like a brand new person.
So that's your number 5?
My number 5, we had a chiropractor in the locker room on game days, and I went to him every game day, and it made me – it was – everyone, would go out to warm up, go out in the field in like shorts and a T-shirt. I wouldn't do that. My thing was I need to get on that chiropractor table, and he would do it all. It was like a quick routine of neck, upper back. He'd do the leg crossover, get your low back on both sides popping. He would get your shoulder. So he'd do resistance tests. If you could resist him, then you're fine. If not, he'd yank it out. And he would do the same with your leg on your hips. He also did your fingers, which were so important for me as a lineman and being able to grab people. You want to say you're not supposed to hold. I hold every single play. He would test the strength between your thumb and pinky. So you hold them together. He puts his fingers between and pulls them apart. If he can pull them apart, then they need to be adjusted. And he takes your hand and pops, and you put it back, and it's the strongest clamp you've ever seen. He cannot separate them. And it was so weird to feel those feelings of being like, oh, I'm not aligned at all, and him just getting you exactly where you need to be. And I absolutely loved it. Like when I thought about this list and when I thought back, okay, go through your head what happened on game day from when you woke up to the end of the day, what was the highlights? And I always remember that chiropractic adjustment being like, I cannot wait to get that.
Really quick story.
I love this. I love that we're getting off path right now because these are all hilarious stories.
Really quick, Catholic senior year, I played football, and then I didn't play basketball for the school, played in WBBL. I'm like, all right, I'm already training. Like, I'm already getting ready, working out. I was like, I do want to try something else. And I was like, I probably should run track. I was like, that would help me tremendously. I didn't. I was like, too lazy. I hate running. I was like, I'll just do my speed and agility work, which is a major regret. People, if you're listening and you have kids, make them run track at least 1 year in high school. Like, I never saw so much improvement from different people, speed-wise and just endurance-wise. Like, make them run track at least once.
People don't understand that there is a right and a wrong way to run. Like, there is technique in running, and if you're not doing it to the full, like if you're not using that appropriate technique, you're not going as fast as you possibly could.
I mean, I saw people from our class do it after sophomore year of high school, or sophomore year going into their junior year, which I feel like is a huge growing year for a lot of people. And those people that ran track, I swear, maybe it was coincidence, but it was like they were doing like 4.8s, 4.9s, 4.7 40s. And granted, they're going to get faster because it's that big jump in your body. But they would come back. I'm talking to you kids were running like legit 4.4s, 4.5s. Mm-hmm. And like, I just think the track helped with them while they were growing. But anyways, so I was like, well, I'll do track. And Alex Saul and Joey Gaston were both doing shot put. And I was like, well, I'll just try shot put. Like, it'll be fun. Like, I want to learn. I can spend a little bit of time doing it. And I had a good time with those guys. Well, there was a girl that ran track, and her mom was a masseuse or did massages. And she would sometimes during practice would bring her table and would help work out the sprinters and stuff. And then she would do it on meets. Well, every time she came, I was like, I started talking with her one time. She's like, seriously, just lay down. I was like, no, like, I feel bad. Like, I do shot put, like, and I'm here like halfway joking anyways. Like, I'm doing my best effort. I'm shot putting. Like,
I'm 190 pounds doing shot puts.
Right. I was literally
offensive lineman.
Yeah, I was literally there just to wear the short shorts, which I got in trouble for. And I think in the same day as this. So she's like, no, seriously, it's fine. I'm not doing anyone right now. All the sprinters or whatever. I said, okay. It was amazing. So every time she came back, I was like, Miss So-and-so, you're back, baby. And like, give her the guns. And she like loved it. You know how I like joke with parents and stuff. So I'd get on there. And I love him to death. But Coach Surlis, who was our athletic director and would also help with track, he came over. He's like, Reed, like, what? He literally was, I actually got a little intimidated because he was literally like, Reed, like, what are you doing? Like, come on, man, like, get off the table. Like, that's for sprinters. And like, and I was like, oh, I was like, dang, like, I'm sorry. Like, she just, and so I had done it like 4 or 5 times. It felt so good. And as I get up, so that's why I was saying that, because I would go take advantage of that when I shouldn't. And as I was getting up, he's like, and Reed, like, give those shorts back. Like, those are sprinter shorts. Like, you don't need those. Because I was just wearing the short shorts to show the quads off. And so when he made me give those back and wear the long shorts, I was done. I just stopped going.
Just quit.
But no, I do want to ask you this. Did you know how all this stuff is coming popular now on social media and stuff, where it's the pop therapy and they're popping like everything? Did he do like all like multiple neck things and multiple hand things? Because like some of these people are popping in ways I've never seen.
No, I mean, I can literally move by move take you exactly through what he did. It wasn't like a long extended thing. It was, anybody who wanted it could get it in the locker room. So
who all did it? Like, did a lot of people do it?
Yeah, a lot of people did it.
Yeah.
It was, like I got used to the routine of like, okay, I'm on my back right now. Now I'm on my back, now I'm on my front. Like I like got used to it, like what he was about to do. But yeah, it was, your back, you're laying on your stomach, he pops your back. You flip
my
over
neck, my back.
You flip over to your back, he does your neck both ways.
Right.
He does your shoulder. He does your hands. He does across the body with your legs, and then he does your hips to make sure that they're resisting.
Did he yank your feet back?
Yeah. So like you hold your foot up, hold your leg up straight, and if he's able to push it down, then you need adjusting, and he would yank it out and then do it again, and you would hold it up like it was nothing. So it's just like so crazy how that stuff works.
Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't like the full extent thing, but I mean, there's a reason people love just watching it because
it's fascinating.
Yeah, but
I'm jealous. Like, I want to be those people.
When you actually get it done, it just it's a release of tension in your body. So it feels amazing.
I do like releasing tension out of my body.
I feel like you've gotten a lot of innuendos in this podcast. Might need to dial it back a little bit. Goodness gracious. Do you want to get through this list, please?
All right.
What's your number 5?
So mine was how I kind of started my day. And I looked forward so much, and I still do. It's not the same as I've gotten older. Still a little bit, but not the same. But I remember waking up in high school, and you wake up and you've just played a game the night before, and you're sore, but you kind of like wake up a little bit, and you turn the TV on, and just hearing College Game Day music. I got to a point where I would literally wake up just to hear the music in the intro, and I might eat and then go back to sleep, and I would wake back up like later in the show. And I caught myself, I don't even actually watch the show. I just want to see the intro and, of course, those picks and just have it as background noise the whole day. But that was just like, I will remember that forever, just like waking up. Like, and even when I was in college, I'm not playing anymore, but just waking up and you've had a great Friday night and the sun's starting to peek in a little bit. And when it's fall, it's kind of got that little cool in the air, and just the whole vibe about it, it's just magical. And so I had to start with College Game Day because it's the way that you start. I mean, you just have to start a day that way, for me, in my opinion.
I like that. I like that pick a lot. College Game Day, I feel like, is big for a lot of college football fans. It's their introduction into every other team almost. And it reminds me of, when I was a redshirt freshman and wouldn't travel because I'm redshirting. So when we had home games, we would still dress and everything, but we wouldn't travel to the hotel the night before. So we would just like meet where the buses dropped off everybody for the vault walk.
Right.
So before that happened, I'm just in Gibbs, chilling, not doing anything. I'd pop on College Game Day. Maybe if we had like a 3:00 kick or a 7:00, I'd watch a 12:00 game. And I just remember like going out to the balcony because all the rooms were set like outside, going out to the balcony, just like leaning against the balcony, feeling the weather. And, some of those nice September days were incredible.
You can just smell it in the air, bro.
Yeah. And just like watching everyone like walking by, they're in their orange and white, they're tailgating, they're tailgating in the parking lot across, and just like you can feel the energy and how everybody's so excited for the game. And it literally makes you happy just reminiscing on it, just thinking about what it was. Even though we went 5-7, it was still freaking enjoyable.
No, it's just because we have I don't care what anyone says, we have the greatest fans in America. I mean, we do. I mean, I would argue with so many people that there's there's just so, I mean, there's no way Alabama, there's no way Clemson, there's no way Ohio State, there's no way Georgia, if they were as bad as we've been, that they would still have 100,000 people. There's no way.
No
like
way.
I just don't believe it. But
that was even a comment I got on my Facebook post of last podcast was like, you know, I was talking about, you know, having 100,000, we can't take away the seats. And someone said, you know, what we're not going to have 100,000 for a couple of years. Like, we're not there right now. And I thought, I don't know what you're talking about, because this is Vol faithful. Like, I would never bet against
I'll
Vol
say
Nation,
this
ever.
We maybe towards the end of the year, and it's a 12 o'clock kick, and we might, and I'm not saying this year, I'm not predicting this year, but just in years where we're, you know, 3-5, 3-6, and it's a 12 o'clock kick and it's not a big game, bro. We're not packed. That's fine. I'll give it to that person on Facebook. We're not packed. We're not 100,000, bro. We still got 80,000 people or 90,000 people. Some colleges have 20,000 seat stadiums and they can't fill them. Like, go 2.5 hours down the street down the 2.5 hours down the street in the state to Vandy. It's insane, bro. Like, they can't do it.
I think it was my last spring, like the spring before my last year, we had 66,000 at the spring game.
I know.
Like, that's insane.
I know.
So there's no way I would ever bet against them. I mean, you can see how hyped up people are, you know, doing the block party and everything for Vol baseball. No one you didn't pay attention to baseball, but they're just dying for wins. They're just dying for a fun program to watch and wins, and they will give everything they have to that every time. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
All
right, hit me with your number 4.
Okay, so number 4. And I think this is more college for sure. It is after the game. So in college, there's 2 different aspects of how it can go, depending on like win or loss, or, you know, is my family in town or they're not in town, that kind of thing, where I have great memories of after a game meeting up with my family afterwards, and we go to this Geno's on Kingston Pike and get big old pizzas and eat pizzas and drink beer together and just have a good time and talk about the game and talk about, you know, our weeks and how everything went. And it was very much enjoyable just to connect with everyone.
Are you talking about right across from Shrimp Dock in that shopping center? Like,
yeah. It's closer. It might be Gavino's. I might have said that.
Hey, I just went there recently for the first time. Pretty good, actually.
I loved it. I think it's awesome. I think it's one of the best pizza spots in Knoxville. And yeah, just like being with family and having a good time and doing all that stuff. And also like wanting to group in, like partying with the boys after. Like, that was the only time we got a chance to have fun, to drink, to, you know, be with each other, because you can't do it Sunday. You got practice Monday. You got practice all week. You're getting ready for the game Friday. Like, Saturday night's the one night you do it.
Did y'all have Sunday off?
When Dooley was there,
did you guys have to do the same typical thing that mostly everyone does, go in and do the like stretch and all that crap?
When Dooley was there, I remember we did like a stretch and like stride outs.
Yeah.
When Butch got there, we didn't do that anymore. People were required, if, you know, they're on injury list or if they have something, to come into the training room, do some rehab, do some recovery, all that kind of stuff. But I would always go in on Sundays. I'd do some contrast, some cold to hot tub stuff. I'd stretch, and then I'd watch film.
Yeah, but you could sleep in. Like, you could go do that 10 or 11 o'clock. Yeah.
Yes. Definitely. There was not a timetable. So definitely.
So you hit pizza and beer with your parents and family, and then you would meet up with the boys after.
Yes, then meet up with the boys after, drink heavy, 24 packs of Bud Light, just crushing it at 3:30, just big dogging it out there. So yeah, those were great times. That is part of what game day was for me in college. And I I think a lot of college athletes probably have the same experience when it comes to Saturday nights for sure.
You want to hear about on a different level?
Sure, I do.
So I played at Memphis. Cannon Smith, one of my buddies and teammates there, his dad's the owner of FedEx. So Fred Smith. And
Arthur Smith's brother?
Correct. They have multiple brothers and sisters and stuff. Yeah. Big fan of Arthur Smith, by the way. I hate the Titans lost him.
I know.
This is the year before I got there, though. And they were telling me about this. And so they came up here and played, and it was Kippen's year, and they lost. But Cannon and one of my other good buddies, Johnny Mack, and a couple of their guys, they wanted to stay and party and kind of see how it was here. So, when your dad writes checks like he does to the university, like, how's the coach going to tell you no? And I think Cannon was redshirting because he was transferring in from Miami. So I don't think he was even playing right now. And the coach said, as long as you're back by stride out and stretches, which started at 11 at Memphis time. So they played, and then Cannon and Johnny Mack and a couple other guys went out on the strip, stayed out all night. I think they got a hotel room and slept. They slept from 4 or 5 in the morning to 7 or 8, and then go hop on a private jet and fly back to Memphis in time for practice. Now that's a different lifestyle.
That's insane.
I told you, I said that's insane because it's insane. It's a different lifestyle, bro. I remember when we were going on we had a bye week. And during the bye week, they were playing a golf trip to somewhere else because they were really going to leave on Friday and be back by Sunday. That's just a different stratosphere. And I'll be honest, Cannon was a great dude to me. He was a great, great guy. I felt like he had a little edge to him because when you're that wealthy, you don't know who's around you to try to get something from you or try to use you or whatever, but he was super nice to me. I've always really appreciated him. Johnny Mack is one of my favorite guys ever. He was a redshirt senior when I was there and kind of took me under his wing. But, bro, when you see this lifestyle, it's just it's completely different than normal. Yeah. So,
wish I had the option of a private jet.
Yeah, it would be nice. It'd be nice. All right, my number 4. My number 4 actually does kind of have to do with food. So, as you know, and most people know, I do try to eat healthy. I try to work out. I try to be good. I care about what I eat. And I'm not a big hot dog fan. I just have never been growing up for whatever reason. But there was something always about a nailing hot dog, a Smokey Dog.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is, your boy gave up Coke for Lent in fourth grade. And I never drank soft drinks again after that. Except for when I would go to the games, I would get one, and that Smokey Dog with that Coke and a freaking Reese's Cups or peanut M&Ms, bro. I look forward to that because I would work out hard, I would try to eat good during the week, and I would go, and that was just it was just being in the atmosphere. I'm in Nayland. I get my dog, I get my Coke, and I got
you sit down, and
dude, it's just special. It's just special. I don't
standing up in front of you. They're all sitting down in front of you so you can see it, and you got your Smokey Dog on one lap. You got your Coke sitting next to you.
I get 2 actually.
Okay, big dog, trying to put on that weight. There's nothing like it.
And that's serious because. If it wasn't for game day, I was never eating that. No. Ever. And so that's why it was I'd wake up and I would eat something for breakfast or probably even work out before the game and then eat something before I went. But, bro, I knew at some point in that game, I'm walking up the stairs and I'm getting – I can smell the hot dog and the Coke right now. I would kill for some right now, actually. So that's number 4 for me. What's your number 3?
I love that pick. So number 3 for me, and I just have to put it on here because it's something that not everyone gets to experience, but it's running through the tee.
No, I thought that was going to be number 1.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. I got.
Remember
you
when I was telling you on the when I was driving earlier talking to you, that was what I thought was going to be number 1. I cannot believe that's number 3, but all right. Okay.
Yes. So it is such a monumental moment before the game, what people look to as what Tennessee is, that I feel like it's unjust if I don't put it on this list at all. The reason I have it number 3 and I don't have it 1 is in the moment when you're running through the tee, you don't get to enjoy it because everything else that is going to happen, that has happened, is running through your mind. So it's very difficult for me to put it up high. And people don't quite understand why I don't see it as, such a moment. Before I played, yes. When I didn't play and was on the team my first year, yes. But once I started playing, getting starting reps, it was something that just like, okay, like on to the next thing. Like, let me get to the sideline so that I can get ready for if we're going to be on offense or defense first. It's such a weird way that you think about it once you get to that starting position and you're concentrating on the game, you're concentrating on like, I have to physically beat up the man across from me and move him against his will, that you're not thinking about the fans and everything that's going on. And I realized that my senior year, and whenever I did like the last walk in senior night, like I really tried to look around and enjoy it for what it was. So obviously I feel very blessed that I got the opportunity to do that. And I don't want to, diminish it in any way, but just let people understand the point of view that I have, and that other players are going to have when they're running through that tee. Is I got a lot of stuff going on right now. This is not the most important thing. So I still got on the list. My mom cries every time, so she would be pissed if I didn't have it on here. But that's the reason it's 3 and it's not 1.
She cried every time you did it, or every time they just do it in general?
Every time they do it in general. If she's
incredible,
if she is at a game,
incredible,
and she watches the tee, she cries every time. She did it when I was in high school and wasn't even there playing. She did it.
So I get where you're coming from, but I feel like I would be less jacked up when I wasn't playing, because it's like, bro, you ain't playing. Why are you getting excited to go sit on the bench for 3 hours? So all I can equate it to was at Catholic, and we would just, and this is every high school does this, where you run out of the smoke or the cheerleaders hold the little thing and all that bull crap. But like at Memphis, I was like, Reed, like you're redshirt, bro, like you ain't playing. Like, but there was still a couple times, matter of fact, when we played Tennessee and the Liberty Bowl was literally packed for the first time because Tennessee fans, but they played the smoke, they had the smoke going, and they had the fireworks and some music. And me, I get hyped. I get hyped just like in normal life about something. Like I play golf with my dad and he drills like a 10-footer. I'm like, let's go. Like I just get jacked up. And I couldn't help myself. I was coming out and I was like, bro, I feel embarrassed. Like, I hope people didn't see me, because they're like, bro, like, Reed, you ain't playing. Like, why are you getting fired up? But I ran out in Memphis and like it was like boom, 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 like the fireworks and the smoke and the people go, and you're just like, let's eat. Like, I'm gonna go take off someone's head.
Yes.
But I can equate it to Catholic, because I mean I was a starter playing or whatever. But I wasn't worried about, like, I knew what I had to do, and I felt already locked into what I was going to do. I maybe wasn't like, I knew the game plan, knew what I was going to do. And then maybe like right before the first snap, I'd be like, all right, here's where everything is. But when I was running out, I kind of let it all go. And I'm just like, beating your chest, flexing, like, just feeling it and getting those goosebumps. So I'm shocked that because you get hyped just like I do about stuff. Like, you get that way too. So that kind of surprised me a little bit. I get that you have a lot of stuff going on, but I'm telling you now, like, you can go back, but give yourself 8 seconds to run through and just get juiced. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's different. I didn't play SEC ball, so
yeah. I get what you're saying. I get, the let yourself feel the emotions at the time and everything like that. But like I said, it's a 7-second, 8-second thing. It's very quick. It's also different from like your Memphis experience where you have fireworks, you have smoke, you have, whatever song is playing. They can play whatever they want, beating on drums, da da da. Tennessee is very traditional where it's just the band. You hear a lot of trumpets. And not to say that that's not, like, when I hear Rocky Top to this day, I get emotional just because of everything it means to me and everything that I've been through with it. But I mean, it's different. It's just different. Like the time that I'm trying to get myself ready to play in the hype mode, all that kind of stuff is after the warm-ups, when we go back into the locker room and sitting on the stools. It is waiting in the tunnel to run out. Those are the times where I am in my head trying to lock in, okay, this is how you're going to play today. Make sure you play aggressive. Make sure you play fast. Don't let anybody beat you. Don't let anybody get the best of you. You are the best player out there. Building up my confidence, all that kind of stuff. Mental, just running through your head. So I think you just kind of you miss it. But like I said, my redshirt freshman year, I enjoyed it because I wasn't thinking about playing. I wasn't thinking about doing mental stuff. I was redshirted. There was no chance I was going to play. So when I did run to the tee, it was like, oh snap! I'm in the middle of the field and everybody's looking at me right now. And like, look how full this place is. Like, this is so cool. And that was what you got to experience. So, I mean, I still put it on the list. It's still on there. It's not like it's not important at all, but I'm just saying.
No, I know. I got you.
It's not the first spot.
It's cool. Hey, listen, I respect it. I understand it. And I just learned something. So I would have not guessed that. All right. My number 3 is, it's kind of a cop-out, but not really. But it's just like, for me, it's the different tailgates. And the why I say different tailgates is because I'm not a type, and I've never been a type, to where I go to one tailgate and just stay all day. It's always been, and I don't even get there super early sometimes. Like, honestly, like, I'm not a huge drinker, so I'm not going to get over there at 9 a.m. for a 3:30 game and just start, ripping Mick Ultras. But like, I would get my mom. It's like I'd get my mom to drop me off. And I enjoyed that ride because a lot of times my grandfather would want to ride to see the atmosphere and stuff because he wasn't going to games because he's older. And it's like I got to enjoy that, talking to my mom, talking to my grandfather, and you get dropped off, which is incredible. We were coming from East Knoxville, so it's like we had no traffic. It was go down, go Riverside Drive. We're right up there. They dropped me off great. And it's like, bang, I hit the ground. And it's like, all right, I'm going to go hit this pocket first. And I'm going to go tailgate and see these guys. And it was like, it was after college. And it's like, you don't see these guys all the time. So I'm going to go see my group of, people from I grew up with. And then I go see my Catholic buddies. And then I go see these different pockets. And my sister's at a tailgate with her works putting together. She's like, hey, come up here, get some food, get this. And so it's like, just walking the campus on game day and sucking in the atmosphere everywhere. Like I would, you're over behind the fraternity houses at kind of close to the baseball field. And then you're at Circle Park. And then you're down in the parking lot across from the campus, Gate 21 parking lot. And then you're at G10. And you just get to spend 30, 45 minutes. And it's dudes you haven't seen a long time. And it's like, you get to dap them up and talk with them and how's it going? How's it been? And all builds up to then going into the game. And for me, it was kind of a tradition. Like Jack and I would go to all the games together. And it was like, we would meet up. His mom would drop him off. I'd meet. And this is like from when I moved here in 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, all the way up till now, basically. And we get to go to games when he's in town and stuff. And it was like, we we hang out. It was taking in all the atmosphere, seeing all the tailgates, seeing all the people, seeing all the colors and the pageantry. And I love walking the campus. Like that campus was a pain to walk in school, and you're sweating and you're going to class, but it's like I always enjoyed it, because the time goes by fast. And so I would be that loser student walking around, just like I was always up, looking up, like trying to soak it all in. It's special. It's a special place. And so for me, number 3 was just walking the campus, catching up with people, enjoying different tailgates, and kind of building that up until the game.
Yeah.
So
I like that pick a lot. I had like honorable mentions of like yugging some beers with the boys before the game, getting your last few drinks in before you have to walk into the stadium, like trying to chug them real quick before you get in there. So like you have a buzz throughout the game, and like, you get to experience it that way. So I love that. And you said the drive to the game and just enjoying the weather.
Yeah.
And, playing Rocky Top in the car, all that kind of stuff. Like I got that experience on Fridays whenever I would drive to the complex to get ready to go to the hotel to do our Friday practice and all that stuff. I would take the long route. My last year I lived in West Knoxville off of Cedar Bluff.
So you'd go Kingston Pine.
I go Middlebrook. I'd take Middlebrook all the way down and just take a long road, windows down, playing a nice playlist, whatever I wanted at that time, and just enjoying the beautiful weather. And some of the best times for me. I love a good 20-minute sunshine drive. Like I love that.
Yeah, incredible. Yeah, I agree.
Incredible. So we'll move to number 2. And it's funny because I'm kind of stealing one of yours, but I'm putting this as number 2 because of the nostalgia and then because of what it meant to me later. It is a Coke and a Smokey Dog. Like, wow. I'm in the exact same boat.
Bro, if people listen to this and they're hearing a Ball for Life saying that Smokey Dog and a Coke is over running out of tea,
bro,
I
can't listen. I only ran through the tea for 5 years and only got to experience a handful of times. But a Coke and a Smokey Dog is my first memory at Neyland. It is what I grew up with. Every time I went to a game as a kid, it was such a treat to get a Coke and a Smokey Dog. Like as a kid, you're not allowed to drink Cokes. Like it's bad for you. But then you get a game day Coke and a Smokey Dog there. And then it just like keeps growing as you go. You can't ever be without it. And then you get old enough and I snuck in some Jack Daniels and I'm putting it into my Coke. And that's like another little spice onto it.
Yeah.
It's like warming a little bit as you're drinking it. And you have your Smokey Dog. And it's a whole different realm of enjoying it. And that just like combination of the experience of being in Neyland. Like you don't get that playing. You don't get that at any other stadium. Just being in Neyland, that right there, having the Coke and the Smokey Dog, maybe a little Jack Daniels in it, just makes your heart
sad. Dude, this year we got to go. We got to get a picture with our Smokey Dogs and our Cokes.
We have to.
Well, we'll plan a game and go. Okay, so that's your number 2. So, wait, how am I about to say number 1 first? Because you went first.
No, you're saying number 2.
Oh yeah. Wow, I almost said number 1. Gave it all away.
Whew, that's close.
All right, number 2 for me is after the game.
Oh, okay. So we switched our 4s and 2s.
So for me, after the game. And it was almost like I hated losing. But we lost a good amount during that time. And it was like just the recap of being with friends. It was like the guys that we took it so serious that like we felt like we just played. We just gave it all we had, yelling. It's been a long day. We're out probably in some of the sun and heat. There's been some drinking going on. We were yelling. We were building up all for the day. And it's over. And we go back to an apartment or wherever we're living at the time, or we're going to grab some food. It's just like, bro, if so-and-so just would have made this tackle, or what was Dooley thinking, or what was Butch Jones thinking? Like, you can't kick a field goal there. You got to go for it. It's Oklahoma.
Why did Curverson jump off sides? What an idiot.
I hated that guy. But it's like you just get to recap, and you just get to just build and talk and bond and like all that stuff. And then I got buddies that love the Tony Basilio show, and like I don't really like it. I don't listen to it unless I'm with them. But some of the call-ins after that are just hilarious and amazing. And so, like, it's funny to sit and if I'm with Jack or Nathan or whoever, and we're, we give so much of ourselves to the game. It's so funny to say that as a fan, but then just getting to sit back and decompress and relax. And then when we do win, it's like we're just super hyped. You know what I mean? And like we get to celebrate. And so it's just that after the game, and then, usually it's, if it was a night game or a day game or whatever, and you hang out for multiple hours, and then it's just kind of like that drive home. And I'm listening to the call-in shows or the recaps, and it's just like, it's a good way to end the day. Even if it's a tough loss, you're just still thinking about it because you're like the what ifs, this, that, and the other. Do we still have a chance at this? Like, we got to fire this. Like all the stuff. Yeah. Because there's a lot of funny stuff to it too, like the call-ins and stuff like this. But then there's also like some real emotion behind it. So it's just, I don't know, just after the game recap, and it's just a lot of good memories and stuff.
Yeah, so. I love that. It's definitely it's so fun, like the 2 hours after where you are decompressing and taking in everything that happened and resting for when you turn back up to go out to drink, to hang out with the buddies later. Like, there is that little divide of like, okay, we're going down and we're back. Which is exactly what I was saying. Like when I had pizza with my family, it's like we're down, we're decompressing, and we're back up. Like I went to Pilot and bought 24 beers. Like, let's go. So
right.
I totally get that one. But that's so funny that we literally switched 4 and 2.
Switch those. Yeah.
Okay, so my number one, which you thought you were guessing right, which you probably won't expect and think it's not close, but it's the Vol Walk.
I can understand that.
And I don't know if people quite understand it because they don't have my perspective on it, but the Vol Walk is more emotional, more hype, more meaningful than the T. Because when I'm in the T, yes, there are 100,000 fans, but the closest one is 35 yards away from me.
Right.
When I'm going through the Vol Walk, they're right there. They're doing everything they possibly can just to give a high five, just to say, like, we support you. We love you.
Yeah.
Good luck. Like, we want you to do well. And that just feels so good. And I cannot explain the energy you feel when you're going through a crowd like that.
Right.
There is nothing like it. Like the T is great. You run through the T is great, but you do not feel the same energy running through the T as you do when they're right there. And it's a good 20 to 30,000 people in not that big of an area just to see you walk by. And, hearing, it's great to be a Tennessee Vol. I said it's great to be. I mean, I'm getting chills thinking about it right now. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's the best thing before a game. It gets me the most hype. It gets me the most ready, most excited for what's about to happen. And it would not be a game day without it. And we were lucky enough to travel really well to bowl games and have a ton of fans at the Tax Slayer Bowl, at the Outback Bowl, and then line up. And we pretty much did a Vol Walk both times. Just a manufactured Vol Walk, but it was still there for us because so many people were just wanting to support and wanting to show love. And
I just it's the best. It's the best thing in the world. And I think there are guys that I played with that played at UT that can say the same thing, that will say the same thing, is it is very underrated.
So I feel like a crappy friend and probably a crappy fan. I don't go to any of the ball walks because they're just too early. And I just don't, I'm usually not over there in time, or I'm already like out tailgating, doing stuff like that. Obviously, I should have come when you were playing, at least seen you and, got to have a nice time or whatever. Because I know you stop and probably give your mom a hug and everybody hug and get to do that.
I would have given you a hug, and people would be like,
obviously,
"Who's this important guy over here?"
Yeah, no, I know. I would have ran out there and like jumped on you and stuff just to like be funny, but then dapped you up and stuff like that. But what's funny is it's not a part of my game day, so I didn't think about it at all.
Yeah.
I probably, if you had said, Reed, take 5 minutes to really think about it, I probably would have thought about it. But I haven't even thought about the ball walk in so long. But that does have to be just an incredible feeling. And even like you're listening to your music and you're just like in the beats or whatever, and you're just vibing and you're just going. And then you see out of the big coach bus and you're like, oh, here they are. And you get out. And like, if it had been me, I would have gotten out. I'm like, let's go. Like, but then I would have taken the headphones off so you can like hear people like, stuff like that. So I get it. That's cool. That's a neat number one. And I'm surprised I didn't think about that.
Yeah. The drive from the hotel to the torchbearer where we start the Vol Walk, it's so cool because you drive down Neyland.
Are you at the Hyatt downtown?
No, we're at Crown Plaza.
Crown Plaza, yeah.
So you get to Neyland, you drive down Neyland.
Yes, and you see everything. Right next to Pratt Pavilion.
Yeah, you come up, I think it's Lake Loudon Boulevard, and come around, make that turn. And so literally you're gradually seeing more and more and more orange, more people as you come around. It's like building and building. You pass the stadium, you pass Vol Navy, you see the people in G10, waving their flags out the doors, out the windows of G10, just being like, hey, like, let's go. Those are
the team buses. Players.
Like it's the team bus, like waving their flags. Everybody's waving, screaming and shouting, and just like more and more build. You get out there, you get out the bus, and it's immediate. Just, yeah, like, let's go. You guys got this. I believe, like, you got this. You're going to beat their ass. Da, da, da. Like, everybody's so excited. You wait there for everyone to get off the bus. And you finally start that walk, and it's, the band starts playing, and man, it's just, and that's what I was saying. Like, not a lot of people think about it because not everyone goes to the Vol Walk. It's once you get past a certain age, as a kid, you love to go to it because it's like, oh my God, there's the players. Right. Like, I remember being a kid being like, look at these players. This is awesome. Like, getting a chance to experience that. And then you get older and you're like, well, I want to hang out with my friends. And, like, it is early. It's a lot earlier than the game. You got to kind of be prepared to be out there. And so it's only like a select few people, but they're diehard, man. They love it. And like you said, like, seeing your family, seeing my now wife, like, being out there at the Vol Walk, getting to hug her before the game, seeing my mom getting to hug her before the game. And it's just dressed in the nines. You're dressed in a nice suit. You're looking good as you're walking down. It's just the best. It's the best part of game day. And I people might take it for granted. And, when you look back, it really is important as a player. Yeah.
Yeah. Time flies, man. Time flies. It's, it's kind of it's weird to think about that you were doing that and how quick those 5 years went by. But all right, I like that one. That's a good number one. All right, so for me, it's and this has to be for a big game, or just when it's packed house. But for me, it's been a packed house for big games, usually early on. But even when I'm down on the team and I'm realistic and I'm like, man, this is going to be a tough game. Like, we're probably not going to win this game. Like, I'm not going to get, like, I got buddies that get their hopes up like the whole week or whatever. But I don't care what game it is, as long as that place is pretty much packed. And if it's a 3:30 game or it's a 7 o'clock game, the time that band starts doing the T and that place starts rocking, and it's like, it's go time. And it doesn't have to necessarily be run out of the tee. It's the run out of the tee. It's getting ready for game day. It's ready for kickoff. It's even the first couple of defensive plays or whatever. And it's just the energy and emotion. Like, I have videos on my Snapchat that I saved from like Florida game like 3 years ago. And it's like, I buy in, like, all right, Reed, this is time to do your part. Like, get fucking loud, get rowdy. Like, the players need it. Like, let's go. Like, if I was brought down on the field, like, someone's getting rocked. Like, whether it's me trying to rock someone and then I end up rocking myself because they're just bigger and stronger, or I'm taking someone's head off. Like, that's how I feel. Like, I just, like, it's an energy. It's a special energy. Like, and I don't know if, I mean, I'm assuming all the other fans get it, maybe not to a certain extent, because I still kind of equate it like when I was playing. I remember Boys of Fall, the song from Kenny Chesney, the video. I'll always remember when I first watched that, and Sean Payton is back at his high school. And he's talking about the feeling, and he's like, you guys get this feeling every Friday, but when it's done, and you don't get it many more times in your life. You maybe get it on your wedding day or when your first child's born, and just that just like overwhelming sense of hype and just awesomeness. And I've always thought about that. It's so right. Like, you get it every Friday night. Then for you get it every Friday night. And the guys who are elite, they get it every Sunday. But then when it's over for everyone, it's over at some point. And you don't get those back. But I get a real small 15, 30, 45 seconds of that again as the game. And I love when we're on defense first and they run it off tackle and someone makes a stop at the goal line. And you're like, let's go. Like, come on now. Like, like, let's keep it going. So for me, it's kind of the just everything that I'm talking about, waking up to game day, the drive up, walk around all the tailgates, all that good stuff. That's kind of like the putting it all in it's kind of putting everything together, and that's when it just boom. And so that, for me, that's the game day, is definitely the emotion behind it.
Yeah, the emotion, the explode that happens once the game actually starts. Because
yes,
like you said, it's
and big
from
and
9-8.
It doesn't end too. Like, big plays, big whatever, and especially if it's a close, meaningful game like that Oklahoma game, or the Georgia or Florida games that were close or we win and stuff. It's like, it's incredible.
Yeah, because I mean, it's from 9 a.m. until the 3:30 kickoff that it's just build and build and build and build and adding and adding.
And it's not even over till 7:15, whatever it is. So yeah, but wow, I enjoyed this. We enjoy these lists. I don't know how much people enjoy them. If they listen to all of them, I think they'll enjoy and get a kick out of some of them. But
this was such a great one because it's reminiscing. It's talking about literally what makes being a Vol fan so great.
Yes.
And I love, giving my point of view and letting people understand like where I'm coming from and how it does feel a little different when you are a player, and how important some things are, like how important the Vol walk is to those players that, maybe some of these Vol fans didn't think about that. And maybe now they're going to show up to them more. It's just, that stuff it means a lot.
It's stuff that you'll remember forever.
Definitely. But I had a lot of fun today. I think
it was good.
I think that was great. I love that list. I love that we got off on a little tangent to start the podcast too. Maybe me and Reed should have talked off camera for a little bit so we could get all that stuff out. But I appreciate you guys watching and listening. If you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. It means a lot to us to subscribe, get those numbers up. Rate and review on all the podcast platforms you might listen to. tell friends and family. Let them know what we got going on. Let them know about this fun time that we're having here. If you have any questions, you can email us at believein.tennesseefootball@gmail.com or call or text 865-322-9232. And we'll answer those questions. Or, like I said, comment on any of my posts or Reed's posts or YouTube. You can follow me at Kyler Kerberson, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Reed is rbacon26 on Twitter. And please let us know what you think, and maybe let us know what your favorite things about game day are. And as always, go Vols.